Buenos Aires is a city that moves to the rhythm of its own hunger. Loud, chaotic, and unapologetically alive, and nowhere captures that energy better than San Telmo Market. For 24 hours, I explored every corner of this historical market, tasting fire-kissed steaks, golden empanadas, and street food made by people who have been perfecting their craft for decades. A place where tradition meets the everyday hustle. Let's eat. This city is so pretty, especially in the central area. The cobblestone streets, all the beautiful churches. Such a beautiful city. Welcome to San Telmo Market. And just blocks from the market, there's this vibrant street fair that only happens on Sundays. You can walk around, check out the local crafts. There's people selling everything from homemade fridge magnets to hats, socks, and it is an extensive street market. I walk along the entire length of it. Now let's go grab something to eat. And this market has a ginormous area dedicated to food. Everything from barbecue to steak to empanadas. There's Italian food, there's burgers, and this is a really popular empanada shop. And this place makes all their empanada on site from scratch. It's stuffed with filling, folded, and baked in a stone oven until it's beautifully toasty. And I got 2 empanadas, one just a simple carne, and the other is a special empanada. It's called a mondongo. It's beef belly stew. Problem is, I don't know which one's which. I think this is the carne. By the way, this came out piping hot, beautifully toasty. Oh my goodness, that is so hot. Look at that. Chunks of beef. I think there's some eggs in there. I see some veg as well. There's caramelized onion. I think some peppers. And yeah, some eggs. Oh man, this is so good. It's smoky, beefy, a little spicy, and just absolutely loaded with ingredients. The dough is really light, really thin. The beef is juicy, incredibly tender. Wow, this is seasoned so well. It's not as simple as just having some beef and vegetables. Oh man, that beef is out of this world. Tender, seasoned perfectly. The gravy is incredible, and it really soaks in nicely to the crust as well. I have never had an empanada like this before. This is the other empanada right here. And all the empanadas are folded differently. I guess that's how they can tell it apart from each other. Oh, this beef belly is luxurious. Wow. This is basically stuffed with melt-in-your-mouth beef fat. There's scallions, the gravy is nice, a little tiny bit of heat. So I think by beef belly, they just mean beef tripe. This thing is just loaded with tripe. There's a lot of fatty pieces of beef in here as well, so I don't know if there's actually fatty beef belly in there with the tripe. Oh, and I see some salsa flying around too. Let me put some salsa on this. Much better with the salsa. I wish I saw the salsa for the beef empanada too. I mean, this is exactly what this thing needs. I mean, it tastes great on its own, even better with the salsa. This is really unlike any empanada I ever had before. The tripe one was good. I love the beef. There's so many different ingredients in there. Giant chunks of tender stewed beef flavors so well. There's scallions, there's peppers, there's onions. It's just stuffed full of ingredients. I love how light and thin the outer crust is. Probably the lightest crust I've ever had on an empanada. This tastes so meaty and nice. Would have been even better with the salsa. That salsa is great. This place is awesome. I'd love to try the other ones too. I'll come back and eat some more. Just walking around, it's not a big market, but there is a lot of food shops in here. And there's a lot I want to try. I feel like I won't be able to get to it all today, especially because I started later in the day. So yeah, this market definitely has a lot of stuff. There's a bunch of little shops selling souvenirs, leather bags, clothes, there's fresh produce. And my mistake was I got here a little late. I got here at 6 and some of the restaurants start closing around 7. I think I'm gonna try to squeeze one more place in and just come back tomorrow. Next place I'm looking for, can't seem to find it. All right, got myself a delicious looking steak sandwich on some toasty bread. They told me to add some chimichurri on this thing. The steak looks nice and fatty. Beautiful color on the outside, and this is cooked over wood charcoal. That's freaking delicious. This is a tender cut of steak. Breaks apart so easily in your mouth. The chimichurri is delicious. I added 2 different types. Now my steak sandwich, a little spicy, a little garlicky, very herby and nice. This is an awesome steak sandwich. I'll be honest, I had my doubts. I thought the steak would be a little dry just by looking at the color inside. Not at all. The people in this country really know their beef. So tender, kid you not. Nice and fatty as well. I think the steak on its own, lightly salty with some olive oil, is already delicious on its own. With the chimichurri, even better. Yeah, this is awesome. It's so nice to be able to just sit on the street. There's a cool breeze blowing. Eat a delicious steak sandwich, listen to some street performers. This is nice. All right, tomorrow, come back, try some more food. Wow, this is a rainy day. And it's gonna be like this pretty much the whole day. And today's plan is to go back to the market. So I guess I'm staying there until I'm completely full because this is definitely not a good day to walk around. This is not a bad place to spend the day. Loads of shops, loads of snacks, chocolates. And this part of the market is where it starts smelling really good. Look how popular the empanada place is now. There's so many places to eat here. It's kind of hard to figure out which one's good. This one looks good. It feels really cozy. And after the experience I had last time, I'm planning on eating a lot of empanadas today. Oh, also, this is something else I have not had yet. A choripan. Okay, I am just so excited for this. I got a choripan, came with some fries. I can barely talk, I'm salivating so much. And an empanada. Everything's freshly cooked. Fresh fries. I saw them chop a potato just a little bit ago. Piping hot, delicious fresh fries. And look at this. Perfect little toasty empanada. Oh, this thing is hot. Empanada in this country, best empanadas I've ever had in my life. This one's really interesting. So I got a beef empanada, and the pastry is very different than the empanada I had last time. So this is almost like a croissant pastry outside of this empanada. It's really, really flaky. Inside stuffed with tender beef. Oh, that's yummy. That's one of the biggest differences I noticed about empanadas here in Argentina from those in the US. So they just chop the beef, which allows it to contain so much better texture and chew and juice. Yeah, this thing is beefy, savory, delicious. Also, I like this a lot better than the ground meat version because it doesn't really give you any mystery meat vibes, you know? You can tell you're eating solid chunks of beef here. Also, this one, inside, potatoes, looks like some scallions, a little bit of chilies. It's so vibrant how I want to try empanadas from all the different stalls that's supposed to have really good empanadas. This is just one of my favorite foods in this country. Now for this choripan. And this thing looks incredible. Sandwiched between such a beautifully toasty bread. Look at this. Ginormous chorizo, butterflied, loaded with chimichurri, which is just a must for the sandwich. This is an iconic sandwich here in Argentina. Oh, this is a hefty, hefty chorizo. I say this is about almost half a pound of food here. Oh, it smells so good too. This is so delicious. This chorizo is juicy, it's savory, very smoky, and just loaded with fat, little bits of melt in your mouth, fat pieces. I think there was a pepper in here as well. The bread is wonderfully toasty, but that chorizo is definitely the star of the show. Every bite starts with a snap of the casing, and then you're just flooded with juicy, meaty, fatty deliciousness. It's such a bombastic sandwich. There's so much flavor in the sausage and also in the chimichurri. You taste the garlic, the oregano, such vibrant flavors. I mean, the bread can barely contain this ginormous chorizo. The only purpose this lettuce does is make sure that yummy porky juice doesn't just completely drench this half of your bread. The fries are so good, by the way. I mentioned this, fresh fries. I love this sandwich so much. I'm gonna have to get another one today. I can't believe this is my first time having this. I mean, seriously, look at all that fat inside this chorizo. This is not a chorizo you will find often in the US. This thing is just dripping juice. One of the most delicious things I've had in this country. It is so good, so amazing. What an awesome breakfast. Wow, this bakery looks really good too. So I got a pistachio eclair. This is their #1 bestseller. And I think a blueberry tart and a coffee. And the eclair looks incredible. Look at this. Beautiful cloud-like cream on top, loaded with pistachios, and also pistachio cream in the center. Wow, this thing is a love letter to pistachios in pastry form. The cream on top is as light as I expected. The whole thing is delicate, it's nutty, it's creamy, and it feels so light going down. The filling in the middle, that is the soul of the eclair. Look at this. Wow, there's so much awesome pistachio flavor in that. That's such an incredibly delicate pastry with just a load of nutty pistachio flavor. Ooh, coffee's good too. I like it because it's not overwhelmingly sweet. It's not overly rich. It's just so nice. Blueberry tart. I really like this. There's so many textures in here. The buttery, crumbly, slightly crispy crust is like a really delicate shortbread that's barely able to hold it together. The blueberries are nice and plump, naturally sweet with just a tiny bit of tart flavor. There's a delightful, rich, creamy pastry cream beneath the blueberries. This crust is amazing. Wow, it's a very delicate crust. Like this thing should have a fragile sticker on it. Crumbles so nicely in your mouth. This is so good. I think the blueberries are absolutely perfect. Perfect amount of sweetness. Again, just a little bit of tart. I don't like my blueberries very tart. I like them sweet and plump and juicy, and that's what these are. Again, goes perfect with my coffee. I think I like this more than the eclair. This is really, really good. I will promote this to #1. I've been walking by this place for the last couple of days, and there's always a ton of people here. I think this is the most popular barbecue restaurant in the market, and apparently they won some award for their cheese plate, so I got one of those and a ribeye. Ever since the first day I came to this country, I wanted to try another ribeye to compare it to the first one I had. Let's see how this one is. I love going to barbecue joints. I love it It smells so good. I love seeing open fires. I love seeing meat cooked on fires. In a lot of places you go, sit at the bar, the meat is just being cooked right in front of you. It looks awesome. It smells great. It's such a fantastic experience. My cheese just got here. Wow, look at this. Looks like barbecue sauce on top. And look at that amazing cheese pull. And when you dig deeper, oh man, some caramelized onions. There's chorizo in here too. Oh, boiling hot cheese in barbecue sauce with sweet, smoky, caramelized onions and sausage. Wow, this is an incredibly saucy dish. Oh, this thing is so rich. Taste it with some toast. I especially love the cheese on the edge. That's got a nice crisp to it. Super crispy edges. Yeah, there is absolutely nothing subtle about this dish. Cheese plates in this country are on a whole nother level. So creamy and rich. My ribeye is here, and this thing looks like it took a walk outside without an umbrella. It's just covered in juice and a sprinkle of olive oil. Wow. Barely touched the stain, and juice is just gushing out. Oh, this thing is tender. Tender and juicy, perfectly cooked. That is a beautiful piece of steak. Absolutely gorgeous. Wow. It's just so cool to see how they cook the meat over an open fire and just to be able to control the temperature of it. It's just masterful. This thing is pure tenderness. It is pretty much a meat gushers. So much juice coming out of the steak with that amazing aroma from the olive oil too. I think this is the first steak I've had where olive oil was added to the steak after the fact. Delicious. Yeah, the olive oil gives us a wonderful fragrant flavor. I love steak. I've had steak from all around the world. I think my favorite steak is in Argentina. I mean, how do you not fall in love after a bite of this? Wow, that sprinkle of olive oil really adds such a beautiful layer of flavor to the steak. And as I'm eating, I'm getting closer to the rib cap. So the steak just gets more and more juicy and tender. Also, steaks here, lightly salted, so you can add more salt if you want, but you're just getting so much more of that naturally delicious beef flavor. This is borderline sweet. You can almost taste the subtle sweetness in the meat here. Wow. Whoa, that looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Look how gorgeous this is. Tenderloin.
Oh, it is?
Wow.
Tenderloin.
That looks so good.
They cut it out with a spoon.
Really? Is that tender?
Yeah.
Wow.
Look how she does it.
Oh my gosh, she's cutting it with a spoon. That's such a beautiful piece of steak. I think I have steak envy. Although, this is spectacular, especially when it comes to that toasty fat. That was incredible. Smoky, incredibly juicy, just a pristine piece of meat. Incredible. I think one more thing before I leave this market, I gotta get a couple more empanadas. This has been haunting me. Had to get a couple more of the best empanadas I've ever had. Got another beef one. This was my favorite last time. Oh, it is so good. Toasty empanada, stuffed full of cheese, onions. There's scallions in here. There's eggs. This time I know to add some salsa. Oh no, this is like a delicious dream. I had to bite down carefully because this thing is just filled with juicy meat. Again, I love the fact that they didn't mince the meat up so you can see all the chunks of beef. It's so juicy and rich and good. And it's amazing how tender that beef is. Perfect with some of the salsa. This, I really wanted to try because I see most people getting this. This is their ham and cheese. It's a beautiful looking empanada. Oh, that's awesome. Look at this thing. There is so much gooey, delicious cheese in here, along with sliced ham. One thing that makes these empanadas so good is the dough. Look how thin this is. This thing has way more filling than dough. Look at all the gooey cheese that's stuffed inside this empanada. The ham is nice and savory, but that salty cheese is absolutely the star. This all tastes so much better than even last time because I'm able to add some heat to the rich empanadas. I think overall, this market, of course, is a touristy place, but I also feel like it's one of those iconic places you just gotta go to whenever you're in the city. Kind of like Times Square in New York. And overall, it has some delicious food. The empanada is a dream. Best empanadas I've ever had. This is something I can eat every single day. Also, love the steak sandwich. The chori pan was amazing. The steak, incredible. I think I hit a lot of good food places here. Also, I do recommend coming here on a Sunday just because of the street fair outside. There's so many different vendors selling pretty much everything. This is really fun to walk around. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Until we eat again, see you later.